A Louisiana teen is still behind bars at this hour despite efforts by thousands of people today to get him free. Protesters from across the country, including some from the metro, marched on the small town of Jena, Louisiana, demanding that the black teen be released. Here's what we know right now about the case against Michael Bell. A hearing will be held in Louisiana in the next 72 hours to determine if he'll be out of jail. Bell is one of 6 students accused of attacking a white classmate. He is the only one behind bars. The other 5 are out on bond. Bell is also the only one of the 5 to go to trial. He was convicted, but last week an appeals court overturned the ruling, saying Bell should have been tried as a juvenile, not an adult. Bell and the others are from Jena, a small town in central Louisiana, about 180 miles southwest of Jackson. About 3,000 people live there. Today, the population of Jena dramatically swelled when an estimated 30,000 people from across the country showed up for a civil rights rally. Demonstrators led by the Reverends Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton showed their support for the teens, now known as the Jena 6.
I think this is the beginning of the 21st century civil rights movement.
More than 100 students and faculty from Jackson State and Tougaloo College were among those at today's march. News Channel 12 has been following the students throughout the day. Ross Adams was there when they came back home to the capital city tonight. March on Jena is our big story at 10.
It was pretty amazing.
The experience of journeying to Jena was a first for JSU student Christopher Miller.
I've never seen anything like it. Hopefully I get to see something like it again.
After arriving in the town for the first time ever, Cornelius Wilson wasn't sure what to expect.
But after seeing all the black people there together, it made me feel 100% better about the whole situation.
Tougaloo student Mia Ellis says the march reminds her of past civil rights protests.
You know, 60 years later, some things still haven't changed, but that's what we're here for, you know, to take a stand.
I feel like this would kind of gave us the opportunity to make our mark in history.
Jackson State student Jamita Elmore is one of the organizers of the Jena bus trip.
It was everything I expected it to be.
She says residents were initially unhappy to see so many outsiders descend on their town.
But they started coming out their house and they were allowing us to use their restrooms. One lady came out and hugged us, asked if we need anything to drink, and it was nice of them. I think they're going to have a change of heart.
Ross Adams, WJTV News Channel 12.
Jackson State and Tougaloo College students aren't the only ones who were compelled to travel to Jena today. 2 Murrah High School students were on that Tougaloo bus that drove to Jena. Their parents let them skip school so they could take part in the historic march.
When people were marching, it just proved that those 6 boys had so much support and that the idea of what America is becoming in terms of equality and justice is improving.
Hopefully it'll show those 6 boys that they have plenty of support out here in the world and that they should just stick with it.
News Channel 12 has been following JSU and Tougaloo students from the beginning of this journey to Jena. We were the only station there early this morning when the students boarded their bus bound for Louisiana. Before dawn, students gathered at the NAACP state headquarters to make that 3-hour trip. Their bus took off just before 4 this morning. Many of the students told us they were so excited about going, they didn't even sleep last night. News Channel 12's Byron Brown caught up with the group in Jena as they made their Freedom March.
No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
They came here for one purpose.
No justice, no peace.
To make sure the Jena 6 and all Americans are treated the same.
I think this is going to have a nationwide impact. This is really a galvanizing force, especially with the young generation. We have to come together nowadays. We have become too lackadaisical with our civil rights nowadays.
But these Jackson State and Tougaloo students are trying to change that by getting young people involved in the civil rights movement.
I hope it will change, make a really big change, because there are thousands of people here today, and it would be really good if they could see what's really going on.
The students marched from the courthouse to Jena High, about 2 miles away. What you see behind me is just part of the crowd that walked to Jena High School, where the problems all began. The students document the movement and say they'll never forget. Now that it's over, they're hoping for change.
When it's all said and done, I believe the whole town of Jena will have a new outlook on things. They will know that they just can't do what they want to do and slide it over and nothing will happen. They know that we'll be back here again in thousands and numbers, and we're going to make a move, and there will be a change.
In Jena, Byron Brown, WJTV News Channel 12.
Many here at home who couldn't attend today's march still showed their support. Hundreds of students at Mississippi campuses wore black to show their support for the Jena 6. These Tougaloo students came together to have their photo taken as well to capture this time in their history. And at Millsaps College, students and faculty gathered for an afternoon prayer service at a site on campus known as The Hub. News Channel 12's Emily Wood talked with some of the students about their prayers for peace.
Keep your head up and make a stand for what you believe is right. If you believe what you're doing is right, which I do, I support them, then I'd say keep your head up and keep working for it.
All around the country today, people are standing with you. Be strong, have courage, don't be afraid.
Those are the messages from students here at Millsaps College who gathered in the campus courtyard to pray for Jena, Louisiana.
It's important that we pray, not just for the black students, not just for the sick Jena 6, but pray for healing and restoration on both sides.
Israel Scott led the prayer.
It's for unity. We need unity on both sides, black and white, no matter, who is at blame, no matter who is more at fault.
Students and faculty tell us they prayed for peace and for change.
And I'd like to just bring awareness to the situation. I think that's the most important thing, is to educate people about different things. Some people just haven't had the opportunity to have that awareness.
At Millsaps College, Emily Wood, WJTV, News Channel 12.
Emails have been pouring in today from viewers wanting to share their thoughts about this march on Jena. Marquette in Greenwood writes us saying, racism is still a big part of our nation, not just in Louisiana, and it's an issue that needs to be addressed nationwide. And from David in Brookhaven, this march was ridiculous. Would Jesse and Al be trying to get white kids out for the same crime? No. To share your thoughts, go to WJTV.com and type in the keyword Jena. In a special section we've dedicated to this story, you can see all of our coverage, including unedited interviews from today's event.